Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Telecom Dog, where we're all about the travel, tech, and talk. Today's video is about the cost of living in Philippines, from both the perspectives of a married guy with family, such as myself, and that of a single guy, a foreigner, or an expat. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe. That's the way you reward us for all the hard work of making these videos. So here we go. When we look at this budget, we have to decide, who are you? What kind of lifestyle are you planning to live in the Philippines? Are you a regular guy, someone who just immigrated to the Philippines and just gonna live here just like a Filipino on your somewhat limited means? Or are you that permanent vacation guy? Got lots of partying, drinking, girls, that kind of thing in mind. It's okay, whichever lifestyle you choose. I don't care, not important to me. I just mention it because there is a distinct difference in the budgets of the two people. The regular guy is just someone who moves here. He's going to move in a Filipino neighborhood. He's going to have Filipino neighbors, live with whatever kind of budget he's got, not going to be too exorbitant, probably eventually meet some regular Filipino girl, have a girlfriend with time, get married. Just a regular kind of guy, regular kind of life. Then there's me, a family guy, a city dweller kind of guy. When I say a city dweller, I mean not a huge city, not a Manila. I'm talking about a medium-sized, small to medium-sized city. Something like Angeles City, something that has maybe 500,000 people in it. In the house where I'm currently staying, I have a neighbor on the right side of me. I have a neighbor on the left side of me. And the person to the left side of that one and to the left side of that one, maybe across the street from me is an empty lot that could hold 6 houses. But basically, I'm in a city. There's door-to-door housing and apartments. So I'm not secluded. I'm not in the province, or as we call it in Los Angeles, the province is like the suburbs or even the country. I'm not way out. I'm in a big city. I happen to like that, and I only mention that I'm in a big city because I'd like to say, if you choose to live in the province, on the outskirts, on the suburbs, your cost of living might be even a little cheaper. The first thing I want to cover is the cost of living for that regular guy, that single guy. The question, can he live on $500 a month? In short, yes he can. How do I know? My first time living in the Philippines, I was on a very restricted budget, about $500 a month to be exact. It wasn't my first time visiting the Philippines. I've been here several times before, and I met a lovely young lady, and we stayed in contact. And so when I decided I was going to move out here, I knew I would be able to stay for a year or so before I left. So I decided I would come out and set up home, set up shop. And so I contacted her, that lovely young lady. My girlfriend is now currently my wife. I told her she lived in an area called Isabela, a province, suburb type thing, and I said, I would like to live in Angeles City. I still have to do some work. I still need to be close to an airport. I still need to have access to a lot of amenities. So I'd like to live in Angeles City. So I told her, I'm going to take a plane down. You'll meet me down there. I moved to an airport. I moved to a hotel. We stayed there for a few days. Moved in with a friend. Stayed there for a couple of weeks. Found an apartment. And that's how we did it. That story in itself deserves a video by itself, so I'm not going to cover too much detail in that, only to say that I know it can be done because I did it myself. So I do plan on covering the actual detailed cost of both that a single guy, foreigner expat, and that of a married guy. So, without further ado, let's move on to the spreadsheet. Let's look at the numbers. The first thing we see here at the top, it says single person expenses. Single person expenses. Electricity. I have 1,250 pesos a month, and this figure off to the right of that says 25. That's 25 US dollars. I came to the figure of 1,250 because as a married guy, I'm married. I have a wife and a 9-year-old daughter. And our current non-summer electrical bill is 2,500 pesos. So I figured his bill would be half of that. And I do recall my bill was actually even less than that when I was here living with just my wife before my daughter came along. So, married guy like myself, 2,500 pesos. You, the single guy, 1,250. Food and groceries. You see I have down 7,000 pesos. That's about $140. As a married guy, my expenses there are 14,000 pesos, somewhere in the neighborhood of $280, $300 a month. But as a married guy, as a single guy, we're going to call you, we're going to say that yours is about 7,000, and we lived on less than that as I can remember. If you ate more Filipino type food, your budget could be even less. I like Filipino food and I do it, but I gotta confess, I'm not strictly a Filipino food kind of eating guy. I still eat like a Westerner, like an American. There's meat in every meal that I eat. My wife and daughter eat some meat, but they also eat a lot of veggies. They eat more Filipino style. I'm just saying I don't. And so with that budget of 7,000 pesos, you can eat as a Westerner does. You won't be too put out by it food-wise. I think that you'll be very comfortable in what you have for meals, for food. Hygiene house, that's just things like washing powder, detergent for your clothes, detergent for your dishes and stuff like that. Just the basic cleaning stuff you have around the house. I've got 500 pesos for you, a single guy. For us, a family, is 1,000. But for you, a single guy, that's 500 pesos or 10 US dollars. Rent. That's a little bit tricky, but let's see how we call that. I got you down for 6,000 pesos. That is roughly $120. It would be very easy to find a place, an unfurnished place, for $120 a month. Our very first place was 5,000 pesos a month or $100, and it was 2-bedroom because I needed a second bedroom for an office. You, as a married, you, as a bachelor, as a single guy, could probably get along with a single or bachelor place, or even a 1-bedroom place. So what I mean by that is, your housing could be as low as 4,000 pesos a month, up to 15,000 a month, which would be 300 US dollars. I go all the way up there because it depends on your taste, where you want to live. You could even find a furnished apartment, furnished 2-bedroom apartment for 15,000 pesos or 300 US dollars, depending on you. So like I said, really budget-wise, somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 pesos. My housing costs right now are a little bit different, but I'll explain that later. I've got 750 pesos for transportation cost, or 15 US dollars for the month. Down the street from us is Marquee Mall. That would be 50 pesos one way, a round trip 100 pesos. Let's say you go to the mall 5 times a month, once a week roughly. Then you would be spending roughly 500 pesos plus we'll throw another 250 pesos in there for size small trips. Something that made it very easy for me to live here when I did it my first time was there are lots of sorry stores. Those are the little neighborhood markets, they carry a little bit of everything, the things that you need to survive on a daily basis. You got dish detergent, you got coffee, sugar, eggs. Sometimes they have canned or pork, canned or bag meat. They got noodles, they got rice. They have a lot of what you need. So truthfully, you probably don't even have to go down to the mall and shop. You can buy it at the neighborhood market and save on the cost of transportation or just time. Just walking around the neighborhood is a good way to know the neighborhood, a good way to learn about your environment, the people, how they live. Shop at those small stores. They are everywhere. I can't imagine you living anywhere and not having one of these sorry stores within 500 meters. I cannot possibly imagine them. They are everywhere. Drinking water. You don't drink the water out of the tap. You buy your bottled water, and I believe that to be in the neighborhood of 25 pesos or 50 cents for a 5-gallon jug. Our family goes through probably about 8 of those during the course of a month. So I'm going to say you probably go through about 4 of those. 4 of those is probably going to be 200 pesos. I got that down for 100. Let me make that change right now. $200 pesos or $4 US a month. Next up is the piped water, the water that comes into your house. I believe the minimal on that is going to be 300 pesos or $6 US. I think they sell it by something called cubics or something. The minimum was 10. I've never seen a bill for less than 300 pesos, so I believe that everyone gets charged that 300 peso amount or $6. So your 300 is going to be the same as my 300. We rarely go above that 300 peso mark, except for we have a inflatable pool for our daughter, and sometimes we will break that out, inflate that, and she does her little swimming, has her little friends over, and they have a little pool party. But usually our water is 300 pesos or $6 US a month. Personal hygiene, toothpaste, soap, shaving stuff. I've got you down for 500 pesos a month or $10 US. For our family, that's personal hygiene, usually about 1,000 pesos a month or 20. I got you down again for half because I think you use as half as much as 2 grown-ups and a child. The internet, phone, TV. Ours is currently 2,000 pesos a month. Actually, our internet TV is 1,800 pesos a month. That includes an HD cable package, fiber internet, unlimited internet. And then I also threw in another 200 pesos for what we call buying phone service by the load, buying it on the go as you use it. We use very little because we have the internet service, and with that we're able to call everybody on Facebook or YouTube or Skype or whatever method, and so we use very little in the way of regular phone, but we got that down for a couple. So I have you down for 1,000 pesos. Our bill is 2,000. You could get a less costly bill than what we have. I just happen to need that. I'm big on internet. I need speed. I need lots of it, and so I went with that. I still think at the 2,000 pesos or 1,800 that we're paying, we have a really good deal, but I'm sure you could find less for 1,000 pesos a month. Your immigration cost. I've got you down for 1,500, which is about $30 US a month. That's about average if you stay on a tourist visa, $1 US a day or $30 a month. What happens after your initial visit? You go down to the immigration department, you get your visa, and you extend for 2 months at a time. And the cost of that is roughly $60 US dollars or $30 a month. There's a little bit more detail involved in that. If I don't have it up already, I will have a video detailing the immigration, the details related to immigration staying here on a tourist visa. Strangely enough, I have a item called money transfer cost. If your money goes to a bank in the US and you want to get it here, somehow you will end up paying for that. Some kind of transfer fee, bank transfer fee, conversion fee, you will pay for that. And my current is roughly 1,200 pesos a month. I'm going to put you in at half of that because you're probably taking half of the money out or using half of the money that I have. So far, as you can see, we have a single person expenses that total at 19,600 pesos. That's $392 a month. That's well under the $500 a month that we talked about. And that's good because I strongly recommend that you put aside, save as much money as you can because there will be unexpected expenses. What we don't have down here is medical. What if you get sick? You will have to pay cash for that. Fortunately, the costs here are very reasonable, definitely a lot cheaper than what we would pay in the West or in the US. But you will still need to pay cash for that. I will do a separate video on medical costs and things like that, but I'll just say a trip to the doctor could cost you $25, and that's not bad. But you still need to put that money aside. You don't want to spend all your money and then be broke in case of an emergency. So there we have it. A single person surviving on 19,600 pesos or 392. Now let's move up to where we have family budget. That's me. I'm going to have some expenses that the single guy, the expat, wouldn't have. And then also I included some luxuries in there because if you didn't have a very big budget, maybe you wouldn't want these luxuries. Comment, I didn't move here to live as a pauper. I knew that I had a very small budget and I wanted to live as comfortably as I could, and I had a feeling I could live here more comfortably than I could in the US. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of the fact that I can afford a few luxuries. I'm pleased with life. It's very comfortable. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor. I'm not the poorest guy in the neighborhood, by far not the richest guy in the neighborhood, but I'm living okay. So, food out expenses, I have 2,000 pesos. Me and the family, we eat out maybe once a week. Because we have a kid, it's usually something like a McDonald's or Jollibee, or even my favorite place, which does lots of pork and ribs and stuff like that. That's a luxury. You don't have to have that. I have that, and I got that down to a very small amount, 2,000 pesos, 40 US dollars. Dog expenses. I have a dog. I have always enjoyed having a dog in my life, and I wanted my daughter to have the experience of having a dog, growing up with a dog. I really enjoyed it as a child. I wanted her, so therefore we got the dog in our life. That's 1,500 pesos a month or 30 US dollars. I get medicine, hygiene for Lou. Lou is my wife, Mary Lou. Lady type stuff, 500 pesos or 10 US dollars a month. I'll leave that up to your imagination to what that is. I've got medicine fill, 1,200 pesos or 24 US dollars a month. Vitamins, I've got arthritis, so I definitely take some things similar to ibuprofen. I take some other health related stuff. I used to be diabetic, but I've, through diet, gotten off of that, but there are a couple of things that I include in my diet, like honey. ACV is apple cider vinegar. That helps control the blood as well as builds the immunity system. I'm not recommending you get any of that. I'm just telling you what composes that 1,200 a month. So all my medical junk $24 a month, or 1,200 pesos. You see I have here Novi School, that's $2,088 or $42 a month. Excuse me, 2,088 pesos or $42 a month. There are public schools here she could go. I thought we'd give her the pleasure, fun experience of going to a private school. Transportation. There are possibly 3 very nice schools within walking distance here of the house, but the private school that we picked is a little far off, so I had the option of paying for a school bus, which would have cost me 1,200 pesos, like $30 a month, or I could have driven her, but I decided to get a service. A service is a private contract with a truck driver. That one guy comes here, he picks her up, he takes her to the school, grabs her by her little hand, takes her up to the class, gives her to the teacher, and then he meets her at the end of the day, picks her up, and brings her home. That cost me 2,000 pesos a month, or $40 US. Like I said, I could use the bus to pick her up, but I opted for that. Another option, luxury. I enjoy a massage. I get one at least once a week. That's a 1-hour Swedish massage. That's 500 pesos. They come to the house, they do that. So that's 500 pesos, $10 US for a 1-hour massage. I get that once every week. So we're looking at roughly 2,000 pesos or $40 US a month. Laundry. My wife does a lot of laundry by hand, but we also send out a few loads to. There's a place down the street that does laundry. They do it, they fold it, they pack it up. We do that, the bigger stuff, the heavier stuff, to make the load on my wife less. So we do that, and that's roughly 800 pesos a month. You'll see where I have ADJ electric adjustment. As I mentioned before, I paid 2,500 pesos a month for electric, but I said as a married guy you would pay 1,200. So up there's 1,250, and down here there's the additional 1,250, making it the 2,500 pesos that I said I paid. The reason I have to do that is on this spreadsheet, the way this is calculated, it's 19,600. When this spreadsheet adds up all my expenses, it takes that 19,600 plus it adds this, the 2,000, and then it adds that, the 1,500, and the 500, blah, blah, blah. And so it gets down to the electric bill, and so I had to up the monthly electric from 1,250 by another 1,250, so it would reflect my true expenses. And my true expenses, once I make the adjustment, is 2,500 a month, or $50 US. Right here I've got 25, but in reality, because I pay twice as much as a single guy, it would be $50 US instead of the 25. The food, we've got ADJ adjustment for food. As I mentioned previously, he would probably be eating, the bachelor, the expat, would be eating half of what I eat. And so I've got 7,000 up at the top of this spreadsheet for him, plus the additional 7,000 down here. That's going to come to a total of 14,000 or $280, roughly $300. So here I got 7,000 in addition to the 7,000 that he has. Adjustment for house hygiene. I said that the bachelor would spend about 500 pesos a month, or $10 US. As a married guy, we spend twice as much. So that's 1,000 pesos or 500 in addition to what he has. So instead of this 10, it would actually be $20 US a month. An adjustment on the rent. I've got 15, when in reality it should be minus 15. I have minus 15 because I have the bachelor at 6,000 pesos a month, and my rent is actually 3,500 pesos a month. That's for 2,000. My rent is actually 3,500 pesos a month. That's for a 2-bedroom house. That's probably a little cheaper than most people get. I did a little negotiating. I will go through that on a separate video in itself, and I'll show you that. But my rent is $3,500 a month, or $75 US. Transportation, as I mentioned to him, you could go with the 750 pesos or 15 US dollars. Because I'm a married guy, we double that from 750 pesos up to 1,500. So this 750 is in addition to the 750 that the single guy pays. And so instead of 1,500, my total expenses would be $30 a month. I might add that I already have a motorcycle, bought it new, paid for a few years ago. I believe I know I paid payments on it, and I believe my payments were $65 a month. So now that that's all paid off, I don't have that. So if I'm too busy to give my wife a ride, or there's three of us and we want to use a trike, we take a trike, or we use Uber. Not Uber, Grab here in the Philippines. Grab, the Uber-like service, the car service, we use that, or we use the trike. And sometimes my wife uses the little buses, the little jeepneys, excuse me. So anyway, expenses, we're going to call it 1,500 pesos for the family, but for the regular guy, the single expat, that's 750. So that 750 is in addition. So this 750 is in addition to the 750 above. So our transportation cost would be, as a family, $30 US, as a single man, 15. Drinking water, we have an additional 150 because we're a family, and we probably go through 8 of those bottles, where a single person would go through probably 4 bottles or less. So in addition to what he has, we pay an additional $150. That's going to turn out an additional $3. So in total, $6 for drinking water. Personal hygiene, I've got an additional 500 pesos for our family because we're twice as many. The wife buys some stuff, and baby shampoo for the kids. So there are things that I pay for that you as a bachelor wouldn't pay for. So our total is an additional 500 on what the bachelor is paying, and so that makes it 1,000 pesos or $20 US for us, $10 US for the bachelor. The internet phone cable bill, as I mentioned earlier, we pay a total of 1,800 for the internet/cable, plus an additional 200 for phone by the load. We pay a total of 2,000 for that. That again is high-speed cable, fiber, HD cable service, some channels, some premium stuff. It's pretty good. I've had better, but the price, I can't complain. That, and I look at a lot of internet. So the TV is actually for the wife and daughter. They're big TV fans. I look at a lot of internet. Here's a luxury, something I like, something called Magic Jack. It's probably $1.70, $2 a month, maybe $50 US for the year. What it does is it provides me with a US phone number. So anyone that wants to call me can call that US phone number, and it'll ring here in the Philippines, and they have no idea that I'm in the Philippines if they didn't know previous to the phone call. And so sometimes I need people to contact me and they not know that I'm in the Philippines. So with that Magic Jack, that provides me with the US number. That service is certainly less than $2 a month. Netflix, I pay 550 pesos or $11 for premium movies, in addition to the cable TV setup. That's another luxury I could do without, but why do without if you don't have to? Anyway, you see I've included a few of the luxuries that help make life a little bit more tolerable for me. I would like to touch upon savings again. Like I said, you should definitely save money. You might need to leave the country for some reason, and that's how you would pay for your plane ticket. You might have a medical emergency, and that's how you're going to pay for that. Remember, you're not going to be able to have the universal health care that Filipinos have. You're going to have to pay cash for yours. And then there might be some other expense. So as we come down here to the total, you can see that my expenses are 42,163 pesos, or a grand total of $843. For a bachelor, those expenses are 19,600 pesos a month, or 392. Me, a married guy, 42,163 pesos a month, or $843 a month. I'm kind of a frugal guy. I come from a family that didn't have money, so I learned a long time ago to live on what I have some luxuries, but don't go overboard with it. Don't live above your means. And then I'm kind of a simple guy. I am really pleased with my lifestyle here in the Philippines, and I think that it has quite a few luxuries, and it keeps me quite comfortable. On that 42,163 pesos, or $843 a month, I really enjoy myself. I have a comfortable life. I think that you too, and most other people, can enjoy themselves, have a nice life living in the Philippines, and do it on a reasonable amount of money. Maybe you don't want to live at that level. Maybe you are someone who is used to a higher standard of living. Congratulations, and you can do that. You can have anything you want in the Philippines. It can be got for a few dollars more. Anything can be gotten for a few dollars. And there you have it. My actual cost of living in the Philippines, as well as the cost of living for a single guy or an expat living in the Philippines. There you have it. Another episode of Telecom Dog, where we're all about the travel, tech, and talk. Don't forget to click on the bell-shaped icon. That way, you'll be notified as soon as we put out another video. We'd like for you to have access to these valuable and entertaining videos as soon as we make them available. Well, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.